सहजानंद स्वामी महाराजनी जय। श्री अक्षर पुरुषोत्तम महाराजनी जय। गुरु हरि शास्त्री जी महाराजनी जय। गुरु हरि योगी जी महाराजनी जय। गुरु हरि हरि प्रसाद स्वामी महाराजनी जय जय जय। प्रगट गुरु हरि प्रबोध स्वामी महाराजनी जय जय जय। आत्मीय समाजनी जय जय जय। दासना दास थवानी जय जय जय। આવ્યા અક્ષરધામથી અવનીમાં જે દેહધારી થયા આપ્યા સુખય પાર ભક્ત જનને दिले दरीने दया कीधा चारु चरित्र गान करवा जेणे करुणा करी वंदो मंगल मूर्ति उर्धरी सर्वोपरि श्री हरि सर्वोपरि स्वामी हरि जेना दिव्य सुदिव्य जे चरितमा विलसी हरि तो रहा संबंधे थई शून्य जे विचरता दासत्वधारी रहा आपे अक्षर सुख भक्त जन ने सुहृद बनी सर्वदा एवा स्वामी प्रबोध दास गुरु ने भूल का सहूं सेवता भूल का सहूं वंदता जरा तो इतना बता दो भगवन लगी ये कैसी लगा रहे हो जरा तो इतना बता दो भगवन लगी ये कैसी लगा रहे हो मुझी में रह कर मुझी से अपनी ये खोज कैसी करा रहे हो जरा तो इतना बता दो भगवन लगी ये हृदय तुम ही हो प्रियतम, प्रेम तुम ही हो प्रेमी। हृदय तुम ही हो प्रियतम, प्रेम तुम ही हो प्रेमी। पुकारता मन तुम्ही को फिर क्यों, तुम ही जो मन में समा रहे हो। जरा तो इतना बता दो भगवन, लगी ये कैसी लगा रहे हो। नयन तुम ही हो ज्योति, प्राण तुम ही हो स्पंदन। नयन तुम ही हो ज्योति, प्राण तुम ही हो स्पंदन। तुम्ही को लेकर तुम्ही को ढूंढूं, नई ये रीति चला रहे हो। जरा तो इतना बता दो भगवन, लगी ये कैसी लगा रहे हो। भाव तुम ही हो रसना, संगीत तुम ही हो रचना। भाव तुम ही हो रसना, संगीत तुम ही हो रचना। स्तुति तुम्हारी तुम्ही से गाऊं, नई ये लीला रचा रहे हो। जरा तो इतना बता दो भगवन, लगी ये कैसी लगा रहे हो। धर्म तुम ही हो धरता, धर्म तुम ही हो धरता। कर्म तुम ही हो करता। धर्म तुम ही हो धरता, कर्म तुम ही हो करता। अनेक कारण मुझे बना कर, ये नाच कैसा नचा रहे हो। जरा तो इतना बता दो भगवन, लगी ये कैसी लगा रहे हो। मुझी में रह कर मुझी से अपनी ये खोज कैसी करा रहे हो। लगी ये कैसी लगा रहे हो, ये खोज कैसी करा रहे हो। लगी ये कैसी लगा रहे हो। सहजानंद स्वामी महाराज ने जय। मड़ी तुझ मूर्ति श्री हरि तुल्य, सम्राट समीपे रंकनुषुमूल्य। मणि तुझ मूर्ति श्री हरि तुल्य, सम्राट समीपे रंकनुषुमूल्य। स्वामी चरणे अम भूल का केवा, हस्ती चरणे ससला जेवा। स्वामी चरणे अम भूल का केवा, हस्ती चरणे ससला जेवा। करिए वेड़ले हाँ गड़थल, करिए वेड़ले हाँ गड़थल। रहिए सरल हर पल, रहिए सरल हरि तू सुहृद सिंधु रीझविये थई आत्मीय बिंदु।
स्वामी हरि तू सुहृद सिंधु रीझविये थई आत्मीय बिंदु।
भोला उपाड़ थी हो सेवा भक्ति माइक तंत्र थी दे जो मुक्ति।
भोला उपाड़ थी हो सेवा भक्ति माइक तंत्र थी दे जो मुक्ति।
आत्मीय कोई बने न बने आत्मीय कोई बने न बने आत्मीय बनिए हमें आत्मीय बनिए हमें। आत्मीय सृष्टि आपनु सर्जन आत्मीय सृष्टि आपनु सर्जन बनी रहो हम दर्पण।
हूँ भूल तू भगवन तुझ थी हमारू जीवन।
हो
हूँ भूल तू भगवन तुझ थी हमारू जीवन।
श्वास तुझ थी भासे अंतर जास तुझ थी प्रकाशे प्राणेश्वर तू परम।
हूँ भूल तू भगवन तुझ थी हमारू जीवन। हूँ भूल तू भगवन तुझ थी हमारू जीवन। तुझ थी हमारू जीवन। तुझ थी हमारू जीवन।
सहजानंद स्वामी महाराज जय। अवसर આવ્યો રણ રમવાનો પાછા ના પડાય। હસતા રમતા હો મઈ જઈએ બળદે સદાય। કોઈ પણ ભોગે ખપી જઈએ તો પ્રભુ રાજી થાય। સ્વામી રે
અવસર આવ્યો રણ રમવાનો પાછા ના વળાય। રમતા રમતા હો મઈ જઈએ બળદે સદાય। કોઈ પણ ભોગે કપી જઈએ તો પ્રભુ રાજી થાય। પ્રભુ રાજી થાય પ્રભુ મય જીવાય। સુરુચિ તો જીવનું જીવન કહેવા। વાલમ વહેલા તને વર્ણિય થાય। સ્વામી રે
આધાર મારે
સ્વામી તારો આધાર બીજા ટાળો। મારો તું રખવાડો। મોહબત મોટપ સુખની સારપ માત્ર પ્રભુની રખાવો। પ્રભુમય વૃત્તિ કરાવો। स्वामी रे स्वभाव के गुण दोष भारती मुक्त करो प्रभु राम। બની રાખ થઈ જીવવું છે. ગુરુ ચરણે મરવું છે. તારી આગળ કોરા કાગળ થઈ મારે રહેવું છે. લખવું હોય લખ.
એક મિનિટ. આ અંતરો, આ લાઇન્સ, these lines are very powerful. What we are singing right now is the theme for today's Sabha. So let's try to sing this antro, everyone together. Okay?
બાળય બુદ્ધને અજ્ઞાની બની રાખ થઈ જીવવું છે. ગુરુ ચરણે મરવું છે. તારી આગળ કોરા કાગળ થઈ મારે રહેવું છે. લખવું હોય તે લખજે. સ્વામી રે શ્રીજી ન થાઉં સેવક રહેવું તારો એ અભિપ્રાય. તો જીવનું જીવન કહેવાય. બાલમ વહેલા તને વર્ણીય થાય. સ્વામી રે પ્રિયતમ તું છે તારા વીણ હવે કાંઈ બીજું ના હું ચાહું. તારું તારા અલ્પ સંબંધનું બધું જ ગમે તે મારા છું. સેવા સ્મૃતિ મહિમા ભક્તિ જીવન બને તે યાચું. પળ પળ ધન્ય બનાવું. સ્વામી રે તત્પર થઈને તક ઝડપી લો અવસર ના ચૂકા. હો માય જઈએ વળ દે સદા. કોઈ પણ ભોગે ખપી જઈએ તો પ્રભુ રાજી થાય. પ્રભુ રાજી થાય. પ્રભુમય જીવાય. સુરુચિ તો જીવનું જીવન કહેવાય. વાલમ વહેલા તને વર્ણીય થાય. વાલમ વહેલા તને વર્ણીય થાય. સ્વામી રે ઓ સ્વામી. સહજાનંદ સ્વામી મહારાજની જય.
જય સ્વામિનારાયણ. થોડોક અવાજ મોટો કરવો પડે. ફરી એકવાર જય સ્વામિનારાયણ. There we go. Welcome to the final SYM of 2024. So this is going to be a year in review. What a year has been passed. Living so many memories and life lessons with us. આજે આપણે સર્વૈયું કરવાના આખા વર્ષનું. આ કેટલામી SYM છે કોઈને ખબર છે? 2024ની કેટલી SYM કરી આપણે સમન્વય યુથ મીટ? સ્પોઇલર વાળા નહીં બોલે. મારી સાથે ગાડીમાં હતા એમને નથી પૂછવાનું. એની ગેસીસ? 12? Okay, let's have a look. We'll go down the memory lane and identify, how much we have recalled, how much we have learned. And it is kind of a crash course, rather a refresher. Okay, but before that, let's have a quick poll. Okay, raise your right hand if your left hand is functional. Is anyone who is not able to do, doesn't have any left hand functional? Okay. Then let's put both of the hands together and give a round of applause for Bhajan Mandal. All right, so let's start our recap, right? But we'll start from the past first, right? So, when was our first SYM for 2024? It could be a very educated guess, and you might be right. Any guesses? Somewhere in January, right? So, on your screen, we'll see each month coming up, and we'll ask a quick question, right? Does anybody remember what was the topic of that SYM? There you go. So there is a hint here, and Shivambai has answered correctly that the topic was Ram Mandir. So that was a topic, but do we remember who was the Vakta and what was the takeaway? Anyone? Okay, so there were a couple of Vaktas. It was Kirit by Tanna, and then we also had laugh from Surat Bhai and Prabhu Jivan Swamiji as well. So there were a couple of takeaway points that will help us recall the entire Sabha, right? So Kirit Bhai talked about the life lessons from Bhagavan Sri Ram when he went to Vanvas in exile, and when he came back, he first went to Mata Kaikai and prayed him, and by just forgetting what happened. So that gives us a lesson that, to err is human, to forgive is kind. Any kind man can forgive, but forgetting something that didn't help us or it worked adverse from us is divine. પછી પ્રબોધ સ્વામીજીની ગોષ્ઠી આપણે સાંભળી હતી. એ પ્રબોધ સ્વામીજીની ગોષ્ઠીની અંદર પ્રબોધ સ્વામીજીએ ભગવાન શ્રી રામનું જે જીવન છે એને વર્ણન કરતા એક નાના સેન્ટન્સની અંદર સમરાઇઝ કરી આપ્યું હતું. એ હતું એક નારી, એક વચન અને એક બાણ. એ આપણું લાઈફ લેસન છે. ઓકે, ટુ બિંગ ટ્રુ ટુ અવર વર્ડ, બિંગ બ્રેવ and keeping the integrity is the lesson that we can learn from Bhagwan Sri Ram's life. Okay, so next, in February, what happened? Do we remember? I'm not asking the date because I myself don't remember what was the date. So there was a drama. Do we remember now? Yeah, exactly. This drama was titled New Vision, New Mission. તો આનો ટેક અવે શું હતો? Any quick guesses? I know it looks like a difficult exam, but you don't have to worry. Nobody is judging you. Even I had to recall it multiple times. So the choices that we make and we make today ultimately will define who we are going to become in future. So we need to be very watchful about the choices that we make. But what helps us in making the right choice? The company of a true saint and very focused friends will help us on doing it, right? So let's travel to March. I think this was one of the favorite. It was the month of March Madness. And that, what was the title? It says monkey, but what is all about? Monkey mind or monkey mind to monk mind, right? So there's someone living in our head rent free. Are we giving that monkey a driving wheel or not? Right? What was the outcome? Very simple. Work while you work and play while you play. Right? Second, sincere player is essential to calm our mind. And third one, and most important, is our company matters. We must surround ourselves with monk-minded individuals. Right? Any guesses what happened on April? Let's have a raise of hand. I think we are coming closer and closer to the recent event, and we might remember. Give me a raise of hand if you remember what was the topic of April Samanvay Youth Meet. Seriously? Nobody? Okay, let's have a hint. Do you remember now? Yeah, just give me a raise of hand. Okay, it was kind of there was a number involved in here. Yeah, that's my +1. You're right, absolutely right. And there were 3 orators that give us, they shared their experiences with us. How many of you know them? I know, one of them is very famous. All of them are very famous. So we have Nikul Bhai, we have Sarvatit Bhai, and we have Maulin Bhai. Right? And what was the outcome that we could take from my +1? આપણા જીવનમાં ઓક્સિજન કરતાં પણ વધારે જરૂર સંતની છે. Right now, all the memories are getting refreshed. I guess we are getting closer and closer. What happened in May? Guru Hari Swami Shri and other santas came to Vichran over here, and we had lab of them in our local mandal instead of SYM. There was no SYM. So this is basically 4th SYM. So whoever answered 12 SYM, that's a thumbs down. What happened in June? There was a great event in June. There was a shibir, so there was no SYM, but it was a huge shibir. And what was the title of our shibir? Clarity of destination, absolutely. Then we came back, and in July we did a SYM. So do we remember what we did in July? No? That was the next question, right? So, Dil Ki Baat Sant ke saath, we had a fireside chat with પૂજ્ય આનંદ સાગર સ્વામીજી. એમણે શું શેર કર્યું હતું? મીરભાઈએ જવાબ આપ્યો જ છે, તો એમના એક્સપિરિયન્સ, પણ એનો ટેક અવે શું હતો? ઓવરઆર્ચિંગ નહીં. સો પાર્થભાઈએ આનંદ સાગર સ્વામીના જીવનના અમુક પ્રસંગો એમને પૂછ્યા હતા. એની અંદર આપણા જીવનમાં ભગવદી શું કામ કરે છે, એમને પૂર્વાશ્રમના એમના પ્રસંગની વાત કરી હતી. વાય ડુ વી નીડ ગુડ ફ્રેન્ડ્સ ઇન અવર લાઈફ. What was in August? We are getting closer and closer to December. There's a Houston Murti Pratishtha. We didn't have SYM here. And then, after coming back to Houston, what did we do? SPL, we played cricket for about a month. That was also an eventful day. And what was the topic of SYM after the SPL? Now is wow, absolutely. Now is wow ની અંદર 2 વખતે આપણને લાભ હતો. એની ગેસ કોણ 2 ઓરેટર હતા? હા, એ એક્ઝામ જેવો માહોલ થઈ ગયો છે. સિરિયસલી બધા એકદમ સિરિયસ થઈ ગયા હતા. આ થોડા અનનોન વ્યક્તિ છે, રાઈટ? અમે બહુ ઓછા લોકો એમને ઓળખ્યા છે. આનંદભાઈ શાહ છે, અને બીજા હતા આપણી પાસે આપણા લીડર ચિરાગભાઈ. અને આનો ટેક અવે શું હતો નાવ ઇઝ વાવનો? One is we need to live in present. It was more related to what life lesson we learn out of playing cricket with our friends, and they shared a lot of examples. and growing from the past, right? Okay, so there was October in between. I clicked by mistake. So what happened in October? I know you are very eager to answer this slide. October was the month of Ankut. Ankut ni andar we celebrated Diwali, we celebrated Ankut, and we enjoyed with our family and friends. Okay, now when there is a slide over here, this was our last SYM before today. And do we know this guy? What is the first name? Srinivas Ramanujan. And what was the topic of this Sabado? There was a winning formula. And can somebody explain from the audience what was the formula? This is the formula, but what does it mean? Yeah, Kamal bhai. So there are multiple numbers over here. So we have what is the success? Success is the summation of hard work and sincere prayer for every single day, right? So that was total summary, but if we review the entire year and if we want to put it in one single slide to just remember what we did in 2024, this is what it looks like, right? So there are 5 words that can describe all of our SYMs in year 2024. That what we need here, what we learned out of it, that what is the importance of saint in our life, what we need to watch, what choices we are making, and for that we need good friends. We need to do hard work to become successful. We need prayers, and we need clarity of destination where we are going, right? But there is one trivia question here. There is one invitation that is missing in this slide. Can anybody remember? We talked about all of the SYMs. Yeah, forget about, I'm not talking about ACC, okay? Not Career Compass. It's nothing but that's it. SYM today, and હવે મૌલીન ભાઈ આવીને આપણને આજના ટોપિક ઉપર વાત કરશે. That was just a trick question. Thank you very much.
સજાનંદ સ્વામી મહારાજની જય, અક્ષર પુરુષોત્તમ મહારાજની જય, શાસ્ત્રીજી મહારાજની જય, શ્રી યોગીજી મહારાજની જય, ગુરુ હરિપ્રસાદ સ્વામી મહારાજની જય જય જય, પ્રગટ મૂળક્ષર મૂર્તિ પ્રબોધ સ્વામી મહારાજની જય જય જય, આત્મીય સમાજની જય જય જય, દાસના દાસ થવાની જય જય જય. થેન્ક યુ કેતનભાઈ. અને કેતનભાઈ માટે આપણે અગેન we want to give a round of applause. Thank you. What a journey it was. Started from January, February, March, April. We skipped a few months, and then we came back again in, what was it, September, October? Anyways, it's the last SYM of the year. आज के बाद फिर हम अगले साल मिलेंगे. Just a few more days to go. Today is a day of surprises. To start with the first surprise, we want to give a thank you to everyone who has made this SYM possible. But before that, we want to welcome our friends from Houston. Today's Sabha is broadcasted live to Houston. और वहाँ पे there are 80 youths who have gathered there just to watch this Sabha. So we want to welcome them. So as I mentioned, we want to thank you to all of these people who have made this SYM and this ACC possible for us all around the year. First and foremost, we want to thank Swamiji and Prabodh Swamiji, जिसने हमें ये मंदिर दिया, जिसने हमें ये स्थान दिया कि हम ऐसी SYM and ऐसी ACC कर सके. Second, we also want to thank Kishan ji, under whose guidance the ACC team and the SYM team actually came up with such creative topics and they presented us such creative topics. They give us a new perspective to look at life. So we want to thank Kishanji as well. Next, the most important thank you that goes to the kitchen team. Right? Because हमारी SYM start होती है यहाँ पे आने के बाद 5 o'clock, right? But their SYM starts since morning. And probably them and I think the parking team is the only one who don't get a chance to attend this SYM. लेकिन they are always eager for us कि कब हम आए, कब उनको हमारी सेवा करने का chance मिले. So we want to thank all of these guys who have made this SYM and the ACC possible all around the year for us. But as I said, today is a day of surprises. So we want to give a thank you in a special way. So we'll ask everyone to stand up. Is everyone happy for this SYM today? It's the last SYM of the year, man. Make some noise. You ready? Okay, we'll have this music here. हमें thank you बोलना है. We are gonna clap, but we'll clap with the rhythm of the music, right? Are you guys ready? Let's go. Anyone remembers this song?
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Louder.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, and you really ought to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, and you really ought to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. कुछ आवाज आ रही थी इसलिए मैंने बोला कि चलो let's make you guys stand up and let's make some noise. But anyways, I think now you guys are charged up. You can sit down again. Just by show of your hands, just a quick question. How many of us attended all the 6 SYMs before this? All the 6 SYMs. This is the last one. 7, okay. And who is here for the first time? There are a few. There are a few. Okay. The reason I asked is, how long is our SYM? Anyone knows? Give or take about 2 hours, I would say, right? Who went for Black Friday shopping? Don't lie, okay? मंदिर में झूठ नहीं बोलने का. Come on, I want all the hands up. Who still हाथ अभी ऊपर आ रहे? Who went for the SYM shopping? I mean, not the Black Friday shopping. Okay, okay. पीछे वालों ने सिर्फ भेजा आगे वालों को, वो लोग तो गए ही नहीं. But there was a survey. Not survey, a research done by Yale School of Business, right? What they said, कि Black Friday is the time where shoppers go crazy. मतलब, is there anyone here who bought things even if they didn't want to, but they went there, they बोला कि अरे मस्त है, deal है, ऐसा कभी तो life में आएगा ही नहीं, खरीद लो. Anyone here who bought stuff? I'm sure there are a lot. Okay. So they did a research there, right? उन्होंने research किया और बोला कि these stores, they lure shoppers by showing certain things, like they put that thing called limited time deal. They put that almost out of stock, almost gone, 3 for $99, and we buy them, right? कितने घंटे spend करते हैं Black Friday shopping में? 7, 8 hours. मेरे जैसे लोग तो 2-2 दिन जाते हैं 8 hour shift करने के लिए. right? We spend so much time. And we think after we come home that I got the best deal of life. What I think, just because we got to be a part of this SYM, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि I have really got the best deal of life. Right? Because you want to think, you spend so much money, you spend so much hours, so much energy, just to buy that temporary happiness, or temporary satisfaction. You come here, when? Once a month? For how long? Probably 2-3 hours. And usme se bhi, half the time, like, we are probably chilling downstairs, khana khane ke time pe, maja aata hai, we get all these things. And we buy what? A satisfaction worth of lifetime. That's why what I feel is the best deal of a lifetime that I have got here. Just like all the SYMs, as the Bhajan Mandal mentioned, but as he mentioned, every SYM has been unique for us. And even today, we have a unique SYM that has been brought to all of us. But today's SYM is unique because it's very hard to guess what's going to be the theme of this SYM. It says a lesson with a point. I understand that in every SYM, हम यहाँ से कुछ lesson लेके जाते हैं, right? There is always one lesson that we take. But what's with the point here? A lesson with a point. Can anyone guess what's the point? It's not that tough. But just to maintain the legacy of every SYM, there is a small riddle. एक कविता रूपी शायरी है, which will lead you to the answer कि what's the point of this SYM. Are we ready? And the moment you guess it, I'll have two of the other youths come up on the stage with that object. Because the point है, it's not just a point, but today's theme is an object, an instrument that we're going to talk about. So I'll start with the hint. अच्छी लगे तो शायरी के बाद क्या करते पता है ना? हाँ नहीं वाह वाह हाँ. Okay. So the kavita goes, दिल में छिपी बातें, अरे एक मिनट. दिल में छिपी बातें उससे बयां होती है. Remember, it's an object, okay? You're thinking, what is it? दिल में छिपी बातें उससे बयां होती है. उसकी सीधी रेखाएं जिंदगी की राह बताती है. नाजुक सी है मगर हिम्मत बड़ी रखती है. मिटा देती है बातें अपनी, फिर भी कुछ कह जाती है. सेकंड पार्ट, गलतियों से डरना नहीं, ये प्यारी सी सीख देती है. हर मिटती रेखा हमें नई शुरुआत करना सिखाती है. मिटा देती है पहचान अपनी, दूसरों की कहानियां लिखती है. जरा सादगी को समझो उसकी दोस्तों, जो बिना आवाज के जीत जाती है. But someone guessed it, but it was a pencil. Now you'll probably think कि भाई पेंसिल ही तो है, उसमें क्या है, रोज यूज करता हूँ, रोज साइड में रखता हूँ, मिटाता हूँ, whatever. But there are a lot of life lessons that these small things teach us. इतनी सारी बातें हैं कि एक छोटी सी चीज़ हमें सिखा देती है, लेकिन हम इतने used to हो जाते हैं कि there is, we just use it and keep it on the side. But to talk more on that, what are those lessons that we can learn from that one small thing, one small instrument? We want to ask Samanvay and Samanvay to come on the stage with their presentation.
Sajanand Swami Maharaj Ni Jai. So Milan Bhai mentioned that we're going to be walking out with what our topic is. Can everybody see this?
Are you sure?
Very small, right? You guys have a bigger one back there? Let's get the bigger pencil out here.
Let's bring that out.
No. How about this? Can you guys see this now?
Beautiful. But, Samanvay, is this really a pencil? Looks like there's something missing here.
You're right. I think I see it back here somewhere. Hang on, let me grab it.
What do we got? Ah, nice. Awesome. The graphite.
The graphite, yes. And the most important part of the pencil, you have this outside shell, but the most important part is what's inside, the graphite. It's the core of the pencil, and it gives the pencil its value. Without that, it's useless.
Yeah, totally. I would say the graphite is like the soul, the heart of the pencil. And like Samanvay said, there's not much value in the pencil without it, right?
That's true. It's the most important part. And that reminds me of this nice little story that we came across while we were researching for this seva. Let's flash backwards to the Tokyo 1964 Olympics. In the Olympics, you have all these marathon runners that are running this race. It's a 26-mile marathon, and everybody's running this. But one runner, he stands out. His name is Abib Bikila, and he's running this marathon barefoot. 26 miles, and he's running barefoot. He not only runs and completes this marathon, but he finishes first. He's an Ethiopian, he's from the country of Ethiopia, and he completes this marathon barefoot and wins the first gold medal for Ethiopia ever in the Olympics. So obviously it's a very big accomplishment for him. And when asked about why he did it this way, he had a very good answer to it. He said that, when I first came to this Olympics, all the shoes that came, they didn't really fit me. They didn't have proper ones that were my size. And as I was growing up in my life, in my village, I came from very humble beginnings. And so I didn't really have all these facilities, like all these different shoes that I can wear to run my race. So I was practicing on the road just barefoot. And so when I had to run here without any shoes, I was the most comfortable doing that. And so he had this very nice quote that he said that after he won and he was asked about it, he said, "I wanted the world to know that my country, Ethiopia, has always won through its courage and heroism." It's a very inspirational quote to give you the mindset of someone like this, who's running around like this barefoot. He had no care for what his outer appearance was like. His only focus was what he was driven by. And he was driven by the values of courage and heroism, all to represent his country at the Olympics. Now, that's all well and nice, but life isn't always fair to everyone, right? And even though he had all his fame and glory, and he would go back into his village and renowned as a hero, he stayed very humble in his life, and he would help in the community, volunteer, do what he can. But a few years later, he got into a car accident. And what defined him as a runner, his legs, everything from the waist down, it was paralyzed. He lost everything that defined him as a runner. So everybody, hearing about this was distraught, like, oh my God, he had such a great story, it's cut short because now he can't run anymore. So when asked about it, he had this very nice response to it. He said, "Men are not measured by their physical ability. What counts is the spirit within, the values you hold, and the peace you find within your soul. It was the will of God that I won the Olympics, and it was the will of God that I met with my accident. I accept those victories as I accept this tragedy. I accept both circumstances as fact of life." And so this gives you an insight onto what his mindset was as he was able to come across both victories and defeats in his life. He went through both of them with the acceptance that it was God that was giving him both of these situations. And it was a very inspirational quote to help you think about, it's not any of the outer appearance. He had fame, he had glory, but none of that mattered to him as much as what was inside of him. And despite being in an accident and losing his legs, losing his identity as a runner, he continued to service his community and volunteer and inspire others through his life.
Wow, what a champ, and what a quote. It's insane that someone whose life he dedicated to running, and barefoot that is, and won not one, but two Olympic gold medals. And so it's insane from the inside to build that. It's not his physical quality his physical quality made him a living. His life was made from that. But it was his mindset, his character, his morals, his values. That's what made his life worth living. And so that takes us to our first takeaway from the pencil, which is it's what's inside that counts. Nurture the mind as much as we nurture our appearance. Every day we might spend time going to the gym, eating well, sleeping early to ensure that our physical appearance or our body's in good shape. But it's what's inside that counts. Our character, our morals, our values, that's what makes us who we are today.
And so, what else can we learn from a pencil? Are we missing something from the pencil?
Eraser. You got it. Nice. Let's bring that
Do we have an eraser back here somewhere?
Let's see. Quite big one. There we are.
And that brings us to the second lesson that we can learn from a pencil, erasing our mistakes. I remember when I was in high school, in 10th grade, our teacher told us at that time that now in English class, we're going to only be using pens. You guys aren't allowed to use pencils anymore. You're an adult now. And we were so excited. Yes, we finally get to use a pen now. No more pencils. And everything we write is permanent now. We don't make any more mistakes. We're adults now. But, you know, we all know that at whatever phase of life we are in, we're always going to be making mistakes. And that's why one lesson we can learn from a pencil is that having an eraser in your life helps you erase any of those mistakes that you might make.
Yeah, it's a great point, Samanvay. No matter what stage of life we're in, we're always going to make mistakes. No matter what age, we're going to make them. And so we can make mistakes through various ways, through our words, through our actions, and they can impact the people around us, our peers at work, our closest friends, and even our family members at home. I can share a personal experience where during my time as an undergraduate student at Rutgers, I got a chance to go to Rutgers with a lot of my friends, or my brothers, I call them, that I grew up with at Mandir here. And it was a Friday night after Sabah, and we had a chance to just throw the football around and hang out on a Friday night. And so I wanted to challenge myself and see if I could hit my friend Bansibhai. And so I had a football in my hand, and he was quite far in a certain angle, and I thought, let me try to hit him. So the first attempt, I threw it, and I missed. But the second attempt, I nailed him. And so this was around the time that the iPhone 6 had just come out. And so unfortunately for me, that iPhone 6 was in his hand. And we all know what would happen next. That iPhone went straight across the room, and we could all hear the grinding of that brand new iPhone all over the floor. In that very moment, I felt the biggest guilt from inside the bottom of my heart. So I quickly sprinted over there, and all you can see is me and Bansibhai staring at that iPhone completely shattered. Imagine the feeling that you had, and imagine the feeling I had in that moment, where I just destroyed my friend's brand new iPhone. And there was only one thing really that I could do, and that was to say sorry. And no matter how many times I said sorry, which is something I did physically, there was nothing that could erase that feeling from me from inside. So Samanvay, is there something that, could erase that feeling I had?
You make a very good point that, I think the first step you took, just apologizing for our physical mistakes, that's the very first step that we can take towards erasing those mistakes. But the fact that you did feel guilty afterwards, it's also a sign of your growth. It's also a sign of your developing your characters. And during the process of developing our insight, developing our character, we will come across and make mistakes that are not only physical, but also internal. And those mistakes are a lot harder to erase. Simply saying sorry may not fix it. But Guru Hari Swami Ji always used to tell us that one way to fix our internal mistakes, the mistakes that we make through our thoughts, through our vichars, through our actions, those mistakes we can fix by asking for forgiveness to God every single day. Guru Hari Swami Ji always used to say that every day pray to God and ask for forgiveness for any mistakes you made throughout the day, so that the next day you can start with a clean slate.
And that takes us to our takeaway for lesson number 2, erasing our mistakes.
Can we get the next slide? Thank you.
Daily prayer and forgiveness act as the erasers of our life, allowing us to start with a clean slate every day, a fresh new start.
What else can we learn from a pencil?
Well,
Samanvay,
yeah.
there's a joke I have for you.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, shoot.
Why did the pencil not do well in school?
I don't know.
Because it was very dull.
Oh my God. That's a terrible, terrible joke, but it brings us to our next point.
Next slide, please. And that brings us to our lesson 3, the need to sharpen. So this pencil is looking a little dull right now. Maybe we have a sharpener back here.
Let's get that sharpener out. Here, I'll take that. There we are. Nice sharpened pencil. The need to sharpen. If you look at our daily lives, whether we're in school, whether we're working, whatever it is that we do, it can tend to get routine. Day to day, week to week, we keep going through this kind of grind, trying to achieve our goals. And in that, we have ups and downs. We have situations that we face that start to make us feel very dull. And so for that, we need a sharpener. We need something to keep us going, to ensure that we can reach our full potential. And so one such sharpener for us in our life is Sabha. Sabha is a way for us to, at the end of the week, refine ourselves, to remove any excess burdens that are weighing us down, and to really get us to the top, to that sharp point where we can do the best we can every day. And so I'd like to share an example of a youth that I've interacted with, and his name is Harshbhai. And I got to know him from Rutgers when I was doing my undergraduate there. And so Harshbhai is a yuwak that has lived here in Parsippany, 5 minutes from Mandir, his entire life. Yet his first time attending Sabha was at Rutgers. And so he was going through a tough time, mentally, just struggling. And at that time, his friend, who lived in the same building as him, Atmiya, had invited him to Rutgers Sabha. And so when you're in such a situation where you're struggling and you feel like there's no way out, you're ready to take any opportunity. And so fortunate for him, he had the opportunity to attend Rutgers Sabha. And so he attended 1, he attended 2, he attended 3 Sabhas, and consistently he would come. And it was an outlet. It was a way for him to get away from his problems for 2-3 hours, meet new friends, hang out, and really take some inspiration that can help him in his daily life. Now, that didn't mean his problems went away. His problems were still there. But it gave him a fresh perspective on how he can think about his problems. And now, if we look at Harshbhai, Harshbhai is someone who attends multiple sabhas on a weekly basis. And often we see him within the first 3 rows at every sabha. He's one of the first ones to attend. And so that's the impact that sabha has in sharpening us on a daily or weekly basis.
Guru Hari Prabhu Swamiji also mentions many times in his speech that of the limited hours that we have in the week, if you just factor in the 1 or 2 hours that is needed for sabha, it is less than 1% of your time. But using the less than 1% of our time, we can use to sharpen ourselves, to give us a fresh perspective through these talks like this, through sabhas like this, to help us get through the rest of the week or the month. It's only less than 1%. The time, if you think about it, the time it takes to sharpen a pencil, is very minute compared to the time that you actually use the pencil. In the same sense, coming to sabha, spending 1 hour of your time, 2 hours of your time, also gives us that same sharpening that we need in our lives.
Beautiful. And that takes us to our next takeaway. Just as a dull pencil needs to be sharpened, sabha sharpens us to be at our peak performance on a daily and weekly basis.
So that's 3 lessons from a pencil. Is there anything more we can add to the pencil?
Well, we have a complete pencil here, but the pencil won't last forever.
Which brings us to the 4th lesson a pencil teaches us. That as the pencil gets used, over time it becomes shorter and shorter and shorter. Yet, it will still continue to write just as a pencil would, even if it was full-sized. And so that teaches us that, our lives, our youth is also very limited. By day, it's getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And over time, we don't realize it, and we're old, right? There's a very famous little proverb that says that when you're young, you have energy and time, but no money. When you're in your youth, you have time, and you have. When you're in your youth, you have energy and you have money, but you don't have time. And when you're old, you have money and you have time, but you don't have any energy. So we don't want to waste away our youth time that we have. It's the best time for us to have our maximum potential.
Yeah, and if we look at the life expectancy now, if you think about it, it's, I think on average 89 years. And so if we take half of that, if you're 45, you're already halfway there. And so, if we're before that, we might not realize it, but we want to use every moment, every year, every day to its full potential and really enjoy the moments that we have, but also put out our best output.
And that reminds me of this nice little story I read about this candle. There's a candle that's sitting in this living room, and over time it's melting. The wax is getting smaller, it's spreading across the table, and the candle is getting smaller and smaller. Someone sees the candle and asks the candle, "Hey, aren't you worried? You're withering away. You're getting shorter and shorter." But the response the candle has is very nice. The candle says, my purpose is to light up this dark room. My purpose is to light up this dark room. And if it means I have to spend my life behind that purpose, I will gladly give my life for that purpose. So it's a very beautiful little story that tells you that sometimes we tend to focus on how we might want to spend our life, but if we spend our life behind a purpose, like that Guru Hari Swamiji teaches us, it makes our life fulfilled. It makes our life living up to the potential that we have for it.
Yeah, completely. And if we look at the takeaway here, our youth continues to get shorter and shorter. That time that we have to reach our full potential is going and going day by day. And so let's try to use each and every moment to live to our fullest potential before it's gone.
And the story of this candle reminds me very much of our Guru, Guru Hari Hari Prasad Swamiji. He spent his whole life behind one purpose that his Guru gave him, and that was, youths are my everything. Every living moment that he lived behind this one purpose, to spend and better the lives for youth just like us. He spent the time erasing our mistakes. He spent the time sharpening us, and he spent the time nourishing our minds so that we too can live a life that's up to our youth, our full potential of our youth. I remember one time I was with Guru Hari Swamiji. We were in his room. This was in Columbus in 2018. I got the seva to give massage to Guru Hari Swamiji in his room. And as I was very inexperienced with that seva, he got up and he asked me for my hand, and he started massaging my own hand, saying, "This is how you should apply the pressure, this is how you should massage, this is how you should press it." And I was just thinking to myself that how fortunate am I to have someone like this with such patience, with such love, that he's teaching me even the smallest things in life. When he teaches me his life lessons, the biggest life lessons, how patient is he to teach me those lessons as well?
Yeah, it's incredible. And Swamiji's life was such that he used every moment to make sure that his life was utilized to its full potential. But just like Samanvay said, right? He ensured that all of us live to our full potential. And even if it was a moment like this with Samanvay, showing us how to give the best massage, or if it's on an airplane and giving us a smruti that will last a lifetime. It was these little moments that he took throughout his entire life, no matter what he was going through, that helped us and have helped Yuwako all around the world, inspire them to be their best. And just as Guru Hari Swamiji did that, even Guru Hari Prabodh Swamiji is doing that today. At the age of 72, he's still doing Vicharan, traveling across the world and speaking to, meeting with, and spending every moment he can with Yuwako like you and me.
Whether it's in a car, whether it's in a room, whether it's in a bathroom, whether it's in the mandir, whether it's in a hallway, everywhere, he doesn't look at what the location is, what the situation is. He's always willing to listen and to give us the counseling needed to make our lives better.
Yeah, and there's a recent stat that came out that Prabodh Swamiji has visited over 3,200 houses over the past few years. And that is just insane number. I don't think I've been to 3,200 houses in my lifetime. And so to achieve that within a few years is just mind-boggling. But just to share a small smruti there, there was a time in 2017 that Guru Hari Prabodh Swamiji was in Param in a house right here. And I was going through a really rough time. Mentally, I was just drained. And Prabodh Swamiji had come up to me, he had wiped my tears, and he had hugged me. And then he said, "Ke ave chinta na karis, ave tamari jawabdari amari." Now, to say that in a moment of when you're in desperation, when you're at your lowest point, to get that support, to know that you have someone like Swamiji, someone like Prabodh Swamiji, ready to be there, to take you to your full potential, that just means the world. And there's no feeling better than that.
Yeah, it's with saints like this in our life that give us that motivation, that give us that confidence for us to live our life to the fullest. Swamiji and Prabodh Swami are such that they not only helped erase our mistakes, but they took it upon themselves to help erase them. I remember in one time in Columbus, one youth came up to Swamiji, and the leader that brought him up was telling Swamiji that he has a very hot head. He gets very angry. First thing Swamiji tells him that it's my fault. I haven't developed good friendship with him, so that's why he's getting angry. Let us develop good friendship first, and his anger will go away. So Swamiji was such that not only did he help us get rid of those mistakes, but he took it upon himself that this is my mistake. It's my fault that he has a hot head. So he was so selfless in that regard.
Yeah. So with that, we'd like to do a quick recap for our 4 takeaways from Life Lessons of a Pencil. The first, it's what's inside that counts. Nurture the mind as much as we nurture our appearance. We go to the gym, we eat well, but it's our character, our morals, our values. It's all of those things that are truly what matter.
The second lesson a pencil teaches us is that daily prayer and forgiveness act as erasers of our life, allowing us to start with a clean slate every day.
And just as a dull pencil needs to be sharpened, we every day might be going through our daily routines, but having a sharpener like Sabha that we can go to can help us reach our peak potential.
And just as Guru Hari Swami Shri and Prabodh Swamiji have taught us through their lives, that our youth continues to get shorter and shorter by the day. So let us live to our fullest potential before it's gone. Just how inspirational that they've lived their lives, let us too live our lives to be that fulfilled.
So with that, we'd like to make a pratna to Swamiji and Guru Hari Prabodh Swamiji that please bless us and give us the strength that we can live with these 4 characteristics that we've learned today. Sajanan Swami Maharaj Ki Jai.
How amazing it is, right? 1 5-cent thing, 5 cent की एक पेंसिल आती है. कभी सोचा नहीं था कि इतनी सारी चीजें हमें सिखाती है. Thank you, Sapan man. Thank you, Smaran bhai, for that. But there's one thing that I feel is still missing. A very important lesson, which I think that today we want to take with us home forever and remember it for a lifetime. What's that lesson? ये pencil जो यहाँ पे रखी है, right? Does it works on its own? No, right? It needs someone to hold it. कोई एक चाहिए उसे चलाने के लिए, right? It's just an object. It's just a pencil. But there is, time for surprise number 2, something that's written on it. What does it say? I'm just an instrument. हूँ तो निमित्त मात्र. Just reminds me of one of the smruti of Guru Ri Prabodh Swamiji. In one of the sabhas, वो बैठे थे एक सभा में and he was giving a speech. There was an instrument that was lying on the corner, and he was talking on this topic. तो वो इंस्ट्रूमेंट बता के गुरुहरि प्रबोध स्वामी जी बोलते हैं कि वो जो इंस्ट्रूमेंट वहाँ पे पड़ा है वो अपने आप बजता है. तो सब आगे बैठे थे, तो no one said anything, but we know the answer that कोई इंस्ट्रूमेंट है, it doesn't plays on its own. उसे कोई बजाने वाला चाहिए. सो प्रबोध स्वामी जी ने पूछा कि अपने आप बजता है? कोई कुछ बोला नहीं, तो बोला नहीं बजता. देन प्रबोध स्वामी जी सेड कि उसे कोई बजाने वाला चाहिए. अगर उसे कोई पर्सन, परफेक्ट पर्सन बजाने वाला हो तो उसके अंदर से एक परफेक्ट म्यूजिक निकलता है. सिमिलर टू दैट, दिस इज जस्ट अ पेंसिल. बट इमेजिन ये पेंसिल नहीं, अपनी लाइफ है. अपनी लाइफ को भी कोई पर्सन चलाने वाला चाहिए. इमेजिन दिस पेंसिल, अगर मैं कोई छोटे बच्चे के हाथ में दे दूं तो वो क्या करेगा? शायद पेपर के ऊपर कुछ रिबल करेगा, दीवारों के ऊपर कुछ ड्राइंग बनाएगा, राइट? इट डिपेंड्स वट एवर ही थिंक्स ही वांट्स टू डू, ही विल डू विद दैट पेंसिल. अगर यही पेंसिल, इफ आई गिव इट टू एन आर्टिस्ट, what he will do, he'll probably make the best of the art of his lifetime. And if that same pencil, अगर मैं कोई इंजीनियर या कोई आर्किटेक्ट के हाथ में दूं तो वो अपनी लाइफ की बेस्ट डिजाइन बनाएगा. ऑल इन ऑल इट रियली डिपेंड्स कि मैं अपनी लाइफ, मैं अपनी ये पेंसिल किसके हाथ में दे रहा हूं. बिकॉज what I feel is कि एक बार हमने ये पेंसिल, ये लाइफ रूपी पेंसिल अगर हमने भगवान के हाथ में दे दी, फिर क्या होता है? फिर गुरुहरि प्रबोध स्वामी बोलते हैं कि जो આપણે ભગવાનના હાથમાં આપી દઈએ તો આપણે ધારીએ એવા થઈ શકીએ, हम चाहे वैसे बन सकते हैं, और फिर भगवान हमारे जीवन की स्क्रिप्ट लिखते हैं. It was a very beautiful line that if I give that pencil, if my life in Bhagwan's hands, he will make me the way I want to be, and he will write the script of my life. But the question is how? How can I give my life in Bhagwan's hands? How can I find that perfect person to draw me in the right direction? And to give more on that, I will request Sarvesh Bhai to come on the stage and share his thoughts.
जय. अक्षर पुरुषोत्तम महाराज ने जय. गुरु हरि शास्त्री जी महाराज ने जय. गुरु हरि योगी जी महाराज ने जय. गुरु हरि हरि प्रसाद स्वामी महाराज ने जय जय जय. प्रगट गुरु हरि प्रबोध स्वामी महाराज ने जय जय जय. हरि प्रबोधम परिवार ने जय जय जय. Throughout our lives, we all must have used a pencil. How many of us still use a pencil today? So many. I mean a physical pencil, not a digital pen. If we think about it, a pencil is something we've used throughout our life, and many of us use it even today. But how many of us thought so much about a single pencil we use every single day? Well, we have to thank all the organizers of this Samanvay Youth Meet for making something so simple in our everyday life so open and vast that there's so much deepness in a single pencil. So for that, we have to thank the team. So what's unique is what's written on the pencil right now. It says, Uto Nimit Matra. I am an instrument. So what is an instrument? Have you ever wondered? An instrument, in short, is just a tool. It's a medium. An instrument does not have a mind of its own. An instrument is dependent on the user. And so when the instrument is dependent on the user, does it not become important on where the pencil is placed, in which user's hand it's placed? That can make all the difference. And as Milan Bhai said, a simple pencil in the hand of a child will at best make a doodle. One little random picture which only maybe parents will admire, and they'll put it on their fridge. But when that same pencil is placed in the hands of a masterful artist, they can make a masterpiece. And that masterpiece will go in museums. It'll go in a special case. And that one piece will go on to sell for millions, and it will inspire billions for generations to come. The difference is simply whose hand is the pencil in. And that one little difference could make the entire difference in the world. And when we think back in history in terms of instrument, it's right here in our Hindu culture. How many have heard about the Mahabharata? How many have heard about the Bhagavad Gita? Right? So what is the Bhagavad Gita? There's many definitions we could give it, right? There's 18 chapters, right? It's a principle of life, it's essence in life. But what's unique, if there's another perspective to the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita was simply a convincing argument by Lord Krishna to Arjun on why he should fight this war. So if it took Lord Krishna in the middle of the war 18 chapters to convince Arjun why you should fight. But Arjun was on the fence. He saw his family in front of him, the Kauravas, his cousins. So he felt that how can I fight this war? But through 18 chapters, Lord Krishna convinced Arjun. But he didn't convince him. At the end, Lord Krishna says, after all of this, Arjun was still not convinced. So Krishna Bhagavan just says one simple thing, Yatha ichchasi yatha karo. Meaning, even after I'm telling you all this, do as you wish. So in one way, Lord Krishna showed that he gave up. I did everything I could, now it's up to you. And it's at that time Arjun says, Yatha ichchasi yatha karo. I will do that which you want. And once Arjun said that I will do what you want, that is when Lord Krishna made him an instrument. And because he made him an instrument, that's when the war started. And everything that we saw afterwards, all the serials we must have seen, all the shows we must have seen on this, you could say it all came down to that one moment. Lord Krishna did everything he was in his power. But at the end, it came down to the instrument to decide, I will do what you say. So simply today, that's the same message. As a pencil, we are all one such pencil. But ultimately, the question is, whose hand do I choose to put myself in? And once I put myself in his hand, we do as he wishes. He could paint a picture, he could paint an art, but that is what God decides. And that is a true instrument. And honestly, when we talk about this, we talk about a masterpiece. We are sitting in the midst of such masterpieces. Because everyone who's sitting here today, they are such that in one way or another, Swamiji or Guru Hari Prabodh Swamiji have played that role of holding that pencil and making that art. If I give one such example of a youth who's seated here right now in this sabha, let me just give you one background story. Now, I've grown up with this youth, so I could attest to these wild stories I will tell you. One example is if this youth, he grew up right here in New Jersey. He had a wild bunch of friends that he would hang out with. One time in college, he went to a party. Now, when you go to a party, anything can happen. So this particular youth, he had things to drink, he had things to eat, he had all types of things to drink, such that at the end of the party, he could not walk. So him and his friends go back, they buy some sandwiches, they go back to the dorm, and the friend is so out of it from all the drinking that they've done, he pukes on the bathroom floor. So this youth thinks in his weary state that let me clean up this mess in the bathroom. So when he thinks that I am so great and let me try to clean this up, while cleaning, he himself pukes. And he falls into the puke right there on the ground. This same youth, he goes on in the college days, and he was something of Indian descent. He's Indian just like you and I. But he didn't like to stay with Indian folks, with Indian people. So one day there was an Indian fraternity at the college, right here in Rutgers, New Brunswick. So he got in a little argument with someone of that fraternity. And that one little argument led to that individual slapping this one youth. So he could not take it, so he pushed the youth, the other individual. And one led to another, and it started a fight. And 10 to 15 people came out of the fraternity. But this youth was determined that I will fight all 15 to 20 people. And he was about to go and get ruined, but then some friends saved him. This is the type of youth we're talking about. That in one way, he had no control. In one way, it was a life of his own. Let's say the pencil he was running like that of a child's hand. But this one youth, he comes into satsang. He comes into this very sabha. And even at that time, it was difficult for him to grasp all the messages and all, but he continued to come. But there's one interaction with Guru Hari Hari Prasad Swami that changed his life. And I was present during that time in 2008 at a Yuvat Shibir. He sits with Swamiji, and Swamiji gives him only one message. Swamiji says, કે આપણે અગ્નિ જેવા થવું પણ પાણી જેવા નહીં. We should become like fire, not water. Then Swamiji says કે અગ્નિમાં જે રંગ નાખીએ તે અગ્નિના રંગ જેવો થઈ જાય. પણ પાણીમાં જે રંગ નાખે તે તરત પાણીનો રંગ બદલાઈ જાય. What Swamiji is saying is that how many of us play Hori with colors? Lots, right? So when that color, if you throw it into fire, it becomes one with the fire. The color of the flame doesn't change. But when that same powder you throw into water, what happens? The color of the water changes. So what Swamiji is saying is we should become like fire, such that whatever color that the world puts on us, we absorb it. But not like water, where whatever influence comes, we change. So then Swamiji says, તેમ આપણા રંગે બીજાને રંગી નાખવા, પણ બીજાના રંગે આપણે રંગવું નહીં. So Swamiji gives them a little message that our life should be such that it influences those around us. But their life, the outside influence should not be influencing us. So this youth came outside after this Khangi would sit with Guru Hari Hari Prasad Swamiji. And he tells me this. And I remember at that time thinking that how is this even possible? Everything I described, I shared, I saw this with my own eyes. So for me, it seemed that this is unheard of. But that is the difference between whose hand we put the pencil in. In my eyes, I didn't see any hope. But in Swamiji's eyes, he saw much more. And that youth went on to become He went on to work at Verizon. 13 years he worked and became a director there. And in the last 2-3 years, this same youth, he is at Meta right now as the head of intelligence. And this youth is no other than Anand Shah. So this is the same Anand Bhai who just before this session was speaking to us about a growth mindset. Now just imagine, everything I just described to was in his own words he described. And I have seen it with my own eyes. But what the beauty in all of this is, I asked Anand Bhai, how did you implement this Vaat? What Swamiji told you in 2008, how did you do this? And he had a very nice reply. He said that I didn't do any of this. He said, when I look back at my life, I realized that this was not an instruction from Swamiji. It was his vision. It was his vision for me. And by simply staying in this sabha, staying in this satsang, I just came every week. The rest Swamiji did. And this was Swamiji's vision for me. So if I think about this today, what is the takeaway for this for us? That no matter how we are, no matter where we might be in our lives, but this association is such that simply the one sitting on this asana here today, don't consider it a murti. It's not a simple cutout. But because his eyes fell on us, the rest is in his hand to do. For us, simply, it is to stay here in this company, and the rest he writes. And so as a pencil, as an instrument, there's no mind of our own. That is a pencil. It's simply an instrument. But right now, the association we have is such that when we place our lives in his hands, he makes us in his image. He writes our life script. And now when you see this instrument that we spoke about, Anand Shah, that's just one. Right now, how many of us attend Sabha on a weekly basis on Friday in our local mandal? How many are from Edison? How many from Jersey City? How many from Clifton? How many from Bensalem? So if you see, all of us come from different mandals. But the beauty is, each of our mandals has living instruments who Swamiji has created in his own image. Who are these instruments like? They're instruments of his love. How many of us, when we had some problem in our mind, we went to a leader in our mandal? Raise your hand. How many of us, when we needed a ride, found a ride within our very own mandal? Raise your hand. How many of us, when we were hungry and we had no scope of how to eat or where to eat, the guy next to us was able to provide that food without asking for a bill? Raise your hand. Some are laughing. Khichdi madi hoy ka to pizza. Mali to gayo na jammanu. But the point is, the bigger point I'm trying to make is, we all come from different mandals, we all come from different states. But the one controller is only one. And that is why the love that he has, the origin, we feel through all the instruments in our mandal. And that is the power of Prabodh Swamiji. The glory of this satsang is such that when you have a saint through who God works in your life, he is not simply one person. He has countless ways to work and countless ways to be by our side. And the examples are right in our mandal, that the instruments of love, instruments of compassion, instruments of forgiveness, all of these instruments are right around us. So honestly, the masterpiece that we talk about that a single pencil can make, they are right around us. So simply opening our eyes and taking that virtue is in itself a way to become an instrument. We are inspired to become instruments simply by the instruments around us. And that is not a credit for any one person, but it goes only to Guru Hari Prabodh Swamiji. And just as a pencil, when a pencil is placed in the right hand, the master's touch is given, it becomes in his image. That pencil can go on to do marvel. But at the same time, when we become his instrument, he cares for us. He takes care of us in ways that we can never imagine. And one such example of this is of a youth named Chetanbhai Parmar. Now, Chetanbhai is a youth in Mumbai right now. And when I went to India earlier this year in January, he shared this incident firsthand. He said that he works in a job in Malad in Mumbai. And one day he went home from work on Friday night. And of course, many of us, we must have our weekend off. Some might work. But usually Saturday, Sunday, you have some sort of vacation, short period of time. And then you come back to work on Monday. Now, as it turned out, when he left for work on Monday, when he left Friday night to go home, his managers, the upper management sent an email to his boss saying the most absurd thing if you think about it. They made a request that we want Chetan to be shifted from Malad to Delhi. Now that's a 2-hour plane ride from Mumbai to Delhi. And do you know when they wanted the request completed? By Monday morning. So this youth leaves Friday. His boss gets an email saying that I want your employee to be in Delhi at our site by Monday morning. Now that leaves Saturday, Sunday. Imagine right now if we get such an email right now that you have to shift to Chicago this Monday morning. What do you do? What do you think? Right? It's difficult to comprehend, right? But the comedy in all of this is the youth was never informed of this. And there's a reason for that. When he came in Monday morning, his boss, Levis Abraham, is a Christian boss. He approached Chetanbhai and he said that, do you have any idea what happened on the weekend? He said, no. What happened? He said, when you left Friday, I got an email from my managers telling me that I need to shift you to Delhi by today morning. So Chetanbhai got shocked. Do I have to leave for Delhi now? He said, but don't worry. I took it on myself and I told them that I need you here and I'm not going to send you. So then Chetanbhai thinks that, why would you do this? Imagine your manager and his managers. So why would your manager go against his manager to stand by your side? He's risking his own job, right? So why would he do that? So Chetanbhai asks his boss, then why did you do this for me? You didn't even inform me. You made this decision on my own behalf. Why? So then that boss, Levis Abraham, so Chetanbhai describes that boss, I had a murti of Prabodh Swamiji on my desk. He pointed to the murti and says, this guru of yours, he came in my dream Saturday night. And he told me, कि कोई पण भोगे चेतन दिल्ली ना जाओ जो तारे जे करू है तू कर. My boss, your guru came in my dream and told me that at no cost should I let you go to Delhi. I should do whatever I need to. Then that's the only reason I did this. Now just, can you comprehend this? Now I talked about going to Chicago in Monday morning. So we would start thinking how to plan, how to pack. I don't want to go. I want to go. But in this example, what we learn is that when you become his pencil, when we become his instrument, he takes care of the sharpening, the erasing, and every single aspect of the pencil's life, the holder takes care of. And that is the type of gold we have right now, Prabodh Swamiji, that we don't have to think about any of this. He thinks for us. And so that is the beauty of when we give our hands, when we give our pencil in the right hands, He will take care of the rest. He cares for us in ways that we may never imagine and no one in this world can reach. But His reach is beyond human reach. And that's a divine reach. But by simply coming to this sabha, Chetan Bhai then shared that I don't do anything extraordinary. All I do is attend regular sabha. And I keep friendship with my friends here in sabha. I didn't do anything special, but what I realized is Prabodh Swami considered that one little step much more and took it upon himself to keep me close. So this is what, if we think about it as an instrument, really an instrument does not have to do much. All the instrument needs to do is stay near and stay in the hands of the divine. And for us, it's simple as coming to the sabha. It's as simple as keeping friendship with those leaders in our sabha mandap. And so that is one message from today that we could take, is to become an instrument. But now there's a second side I want to touch on in the brief moments now. That if a pencil, from this one pencil, if you can make a masterpiece, who does the credit go to? Is it the pencil? Is it the lead in the pencil? Is it the eraser? So the creation made through the pencil, in the end, goes back to the one who created it. If we think about how many of us listen to music? Different songs, English songs, Hindi songs. It's okay, it's not recording, the cameras are this way. We all listen, right? So when we listen to a song, we admire the tune, we admire the music, we admire the words. But ultimately, how do we remember the music? Kata A.R. Rahman's song. We never remember the music by itself, but we remember the musician. It's the one who created it. પછી ગમે તેટલા instrument વાપર્યા હોય, ગમે તેટલી tune વાપરી હોય. But in the end, the credit doesn't go to the single instrument, it goes to the one who created it. Similarly in our lives, no matter what masterpiece God makes through us, but in the end, to give that credit back to Him. To not take that credit, that is maybe the second part of what a true instrument is. An instrument doesn't have a mind of its own, and doesn't have any credit of its own. All the credit goes back to the one who wrote. And the beauty in all of this is even the inspiration for giving credit back to God we get from our own Prabodh Swamiji. In the last incident, I'd like to just share one prasang. It was just from last year. In these last 1 or 2 years, we know that many samayas are held. There's one grand samaya coming up here in Bharuch, in India, on January 5th. So there's one such grand event which took place, and many attended. And at that time, there's a very well-off VIP who had attended. And after the samaya was complete, he had come to AVD in Bakrol to meet with Prabodh Swamiji. And he was very touched, and that's why he wanted to meet. So when he sat in front of Prabodh Swamiji, he tells Prabodh Swamiji something. He says that I was watching the entire Samayo, and I was moved by your one action. He said that there's a grand Sant who came, who you had invited. And when he came, you got up from your seat. You went to him, and you bowed down at his feet. He said that, how is this possible? That you, at the age of 70, are a leader of hundreds of thousands of youths and devotees worldwide. But yet, you were able to bow down with such reverence, with such humility, that in this world that is impossible. So he's explaining to Prabodh Swami that this is something that's impossible in this world. And upon hearing all this, Prabodh Swami listens, he listens, he listens. And then after all of the credit that this individual, this VIP is giving to Prabodh Swamiji gets a chance to speak. And Prabodh Swamiji simply does one action. He points to a picture on the wall of Guru Hari Hari Prasad Swamiji. And he says, કે અમારા ગુરુ ઝૂકી જતા હોય તો અમે કઈ વાળીના મૂળા, કે આ બધા સંસ્કાર અમને અમારા ગુરુજી કનેથી મળ્યા છે, કે અમારામાં તો કાંઈ નથી. So Prabodh Swami is saying, pointing at Swamiji, that it is because my guru has bowed down the entire life that I am able to bow down now. So then the VIP continues even further. He says, no, Prabodh Swamiji, this is impossible, that I have met so many in this world. And when someone's a leader, when someone has so much authority and control, that individual will be flying 1 foot above the ground. He says, but the way you live this humility, it's not possible. And because it's in you, we can see it in the hundreds of thousands that are sitting in front of you. He says that this is all only possible because of you. And again, Prabodh Swamiji just smiles. And again, he just points to the murti of Swamiji and says, કે ગુરુજી એવું જીવી ગયા. એની સાથે અમે રહ્યા તો અમે એના દીકરા છે. તમે એના દીકરા છે તો અમારામાં બાપમાં જે હોય એ દીકરામાં આવે જ ને. એટલે અમારું નથી, આ તમારા બાપનું છે. So even at that moment, this continued for 2-3 moments where the trustee, that VIP, is trying to convince Prabodh Swamiji that it is you. And at that time, Prabodh Swamiji takes that finger and points to Swamiji. And really, I think today, this is our second takeaway from a pencil. That once we put our hands in the hands of someone like Prabodh Swamiji, that he can write our script of our life. When we put our faith in him, he makes all and every which happen. But once he starts making a masterpiece from my life, at that time, to still hold on to him, to hold on to this sabha. That many of us right now might be struggling. We might be trying to come up with, we're just trying to get through our college. We're trying to get a job. We're trying to get that visa. And all of this is part of the process. It's a journey. But the best part to remember in all of this is the very reason why this is possible. If I hold on to that one reason, then no matter how successful I become, but to give that credit back to him, that is probably the most difficult thing to do in this world. And that Prabodh Swami is teaching us, and how to rid of that ego, which is me, and to make it completely about you. And so today, on this auspicious day, we just like to pray at the lotus feet of Guru Hari Swamiji and Guru Hari Prabodh Swamiji. That honestly, whether I am a pencil, whether I am a pen, whether I am a marker, I don't know. But all I know is because your eyes fell on us, whatever seems impossible is completely possible. So just give us the strength that we as your pencil can stay in your hands and never go off in any which way. So please give us this blessing. Sajanan Swami Maharaj Ji. Jai.
Pencil. It's weird, right? Everyone came and they started with the same thing, pencil. But it's amazing that how a small thing can have so many life lessons. एक छोटी सी pencil, इतने सारे life lessons. ये सुन के एक और शायरी याद आ गई. I heard a few days back. So the शायरी goes, जब तक बिके ना थे कोई पूछता ना था, जब तक बिके ना थे कोई पूछता ना था, हे प्रबोध स्वामी जी आपने खरीद कर हमें अनमोल बना दिया. But it's really our decisions, हमारा decision है कि हमें अपनी लाइफ को किसके हाथ में देना है. So let's just quickly take a look at the takeaways for today. The first takeaway was, it's what's inside that counts. हमारे अंदर जो है is the one that matters. How humble I am, how nice I am. Prayer allows us to start each day with a clean slate. Bhajan, the most important tool that we can use. Sabah sharpens us to be at our peak performance. The Friday Sabahs. Right? And the last, oh, there's one more. Life is too short for us to not live at our full potential. And one of the most important is, આપણે સંતોનો આધાર હોય તો ધાર્ય તેવા થઈ શકીએ અને પ્રભુ આપણા જીવનની સ્ક્રિપ્ટ લખે. These are very important lessons that we really want to take with us at home today. But time for another surprise. The third one. I think it's coming towards you guys soon. Thanks to the SYM team, they have given this surprise for us. It's a pencil as a memory, as a souvenir that we can take from this SYM. But there is something very unique about this pencil. It's just an instrument, but if you see the color in here, it became white. And it has something written on it. It says, Huto, it's right here. Huto nimit matra, right? The takeaway that we learned today. I am just an instrument. So, it's a color-changing pencil, by the way. It changes the color with the heat of your hands. So, the moment your temperature goes up, the pencil is going to change its color. You know that, okay, you need to cool down, guy. But as a souvenir, and yeah, I'm sorry, to the friends from Houston, please make sure to come to the next SYM here, next year, right? To collect your pencils. But, the most important announcement was that we're going to have Aarti, Shayan Aarti, in 1 hour at 8:20 today. Aaj Shayan Aarti 8:20 ko hogi. So, and before that, we're going to have our dinner, Prashad. So, it's optional, whoever wants to attend it. But we request that if you have time, and if you would like to have Thakurji's darshan, please make sure that you have your dinner, and if the line is too long, you want to attend at 8:20, the Shayan Aarti, and then you can depart. But yeah, this was, again, the last SRM of the year. We want to thank you all for coming entire year. And this was a special gift for you. Even if you don't use it, just keep it on your desk. Apne paas bhi rakhenge na. It will always remind you of these lessons that you learned. So thank you once again to all of you. And there's one more thing before we go. If you guys remember, we had a volleyball tournament 2 weeks back. So today, we would like to do the trophy distribution. So for that, we will request Praharsh Bhai to come on the stage and do the rest of the program.
Sahajanand Swami Maharaj Nijay. I promise I won't take long. I know we all are hungry. But people who won the volleyball tournament, they are also hungry for awards. So let's start the awards distribution. But before that, does anyone know when was volleyball invented or who invented it? No. Does anyone know who invented or when was it invented? Volleyball was invented in 1895 by William Morgan from Massachusetts. And the game originally was called Mintonet. The name was derived from the game badminton. But when they started playing, they saw that the ball is being volleyed back and forth. That's when they changed the name to volleyball. So the volleyball game is a century old, or more than a century old. But I want to share two life learning lessons from volleyball before we start the award distribution. Everyone plays volleyball. Most of you did participate in the volleyball tournament, right? Right? So, one life lesson that volleyball teaches us is when we serve, spike, set, sometimes we make mistakes and we lose the point. But what do we do next? We start fresh and we try to do the same with 100% conviction. So what does it teach us? That whatever mistakes we made in past, it's all mistakes. It's gone by. Let it go. It's the past. But now let's live in present. So one thing that volleyball teaches us is that. And the second thing, have you ever seen a spiker spike the ball? Do you know how fast the ball comes to you? Have you ever seen that? So what does that teach us? So when someone spikes the ball, there are two ways to approach, or two approaches that we can think of. One is to block it, and the second one is to defend it. But what if you cannot block? Then only option is left is defend it. So what's the process of defending it? So you have your hands like that, but you actually lower down your body and you're on your knees. So whatever speed the ball is coming at you, you only try to let the ball bounce off of your hand. That's all we do. And once we do that, the speed of the ball is lowered down, but it rises above. So what does it teach us? It teaches us that in the life, any which problems come at us with whatever speed, we lower down ourselves with humility and humbleness, only to play the ball or let the problem bounce off of us and let us rise again back up. That's what it teaches us. There are many other takeaways from volleyball tournament or volleyball game, but these two are the main ones. So let's start the volleyball presentation before everyone gets hungrier. So final two team who won or who actually went to the finals was Team Permanent, and then do you know the other team? Anyone? Anyone? Oh, jamya nathi etle nahi. Easy pass. So let's start the trophy distribution. First medal that we're gonna, or first award that we're gonna give out to is to best spiker. Do you know who the best spiker is? Anyone? Sahaj Bhai. Anyone else? So it's from Team Easy Pass, Malav Bhai. So we request Shashwat Bhai to come up on Malav Bhai's behalf, and we request Pujya Nimesh Bhai Monroe to present the award to Malav Bhai. Is Shashwat Bhai here?
तो भिड़ के देख फिर ख्वाबों पे तो मिट के देख जरा गिर के देख तो भिड़ के देख फिर ख्वाबों पे तो मिट के देख मैदान भी होगा तेरा तू हक से मान लगा मिट्टी माथे लगा मिट्टी माथे लगा मिट्टी माथे और ले छलांग और ले छलांग.
Next, we would like to present Best Defender Award, and that goes to Palash by Aslot, and we would like Pujya Nilesh Bhai Bagdai to present that award, please. Pujya Nilesh Bhai.
लिखी है जो हाथों पर वो बस लकीर है
नीलेश भाई पतला दे
लिखी
क्या
है जो हाथों पर वो बस लकीर है लिखनी आसमानों पर अपनी तकदीर है पूछा है
And then the next award is Best Setter. And that award goes to Anup Bhai Patel from Team Parmanand. And we would like Pujya Hemant Bhai Sojitra to present the award, please.
नस नस में भर के जुनून सरहदें तोड़कर हवा का रुख मोड़कर इन्होंने धरती आसमां तू बन के तूफान तू बन के तूफान
We would like, next award is Most Valuable Player, MVP. Who would that player be? Any ideas? You got it, Prerak Bhai Dalal. And we would like Paresh Bhai Patel to come and present that award, please.
हलचल 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 सबके दिल में मचा दो के जो तुझको उसका नामो निशान मिटा
We would like Jimit Bhai to present that award, please.
सबको पीछे छोड़कर लहरों को चीर कर पाले तू हर एक मौका तू बन के तूफान
Have next is Khandani and Khel Dili Award. Khandani and Khel Dili Award is the heart of all the awards. And there are 4 awards. So the first Khandani and Khel Dili Award goes to Yash by Clifton. Yash by Clifton was asked, there were 2 teams who were tied up for the same ranking, same spot. So we decided to pick the cheat, and then whoever picks the cheat and whatever team comes will get that spot. But Yash Bhai said, let's not take that step. I'm willing to give my place to whoever has tied up with me. So he let go of his place. That is why we are giving him Khandani and a Khel Dili Award. And for that, we would like Bhupendra Uncle and Paresh Bhai to present that award, please.
तू बन के तूफान तू बन के तूफान
The second Khandani and a Khel Dili Award goes to Sahaj Bhai Patel from Team Parmanand. The spirit that he showed in the final is when he was spiking the ball, his hand touched the net and he himself called it. During the finals, he hit a perfect smash and he himself called it that it's my fault. So the point went to the other team and he called it. That's why we are giving him the Khandani and a Khel Dili Award. And for that, we would like Sahishnu Sevak Sarvesh Bhai to come up and present that award, please. The next award, or the Khandani and a Khel Dili Award 3, it goes to Shashwat Bhai. Shashwat Bhai showed the spirit when his team was playing. There was a lot of argument going on. And every single point they would come and discuss all the points. But Shashwat Bhai got his team together and he said, we are playing this tournament to please Swamiji. And we have to play and respect the rules and the referees. We just cannot simply come at every single point and argue or discuss. Let's play with the spirit that we are supposed to play with. That's why we are giving him the Khandani and Akhel Dili Award. We would request Pujya Suketu Bhai to present the Khandani and Akhel Dili Award to Shashwat Bhai. The fourth Khandani and Akhel Dili Award goes to Shrey Bhai. Similar thing happened to Shrey Bhai. What he did is his team was struggling and they were losing game after game. They were losing game after game. So their teammates were arguing within each other and they were blaming each other for not taking advantage or playing at the par. So after one round of the games were done, Shrey Bhai made a prarthana to his team, his entire team, that we are here to enjoy the company that we are with. We are here to enjoy the tournament. The time that we spent with each other is precious. Let's not just jeopardize what we have with the competition or competitive sense. Let's have both, but let's enjoy first. So that's why we're giving Shrey Bhai the Khandani and Akhel Dili Award. And for that, we would like Pujya Purvayu Bhai to come up and present that award to Shrey Bhai.
सबको पीछे छोड़कर लहरों को चीर कर पाले तू हर एक मौका.
We request Pujya Prerak Bhai to come up on the stage, and we still have to give you the trophy for MVP. Pujya Prerak Bhai. Pujya Prerak Bhai Dalal. We would like to have Mr. Anand Bhai to present the award, please. So who won the tournament? Anyone? Who won the tournament? Who won the final round? We all did? That's the right answer. Thank you. But we have to give out the trophy. We cannot give it to everyone, right? So we would like to invite first the runner-ups, and they are the team Paramanand. And we request Pujya Anup Bhai, the captain, Parth Bhai, Anand Bhai Shah, Sapan Bhai Bodiwala, Srimad Bhai Sangani, Sharan Bhai Pitwa, Sahaj Bhai Patel, Harsh Bhai Patel, and Atmiya Bhai Patel to come up stage and please honor us. Please come. And for that, we would request Pujya Prabhushil Bhai to come up and present this award to Team Paramanand.
ना है कोई डर ये वादा तू कर हौसला ऊंचा रख मन को ठान के सपनों में अब रखना तू कोई शक जब तू खुद से जीतेगा तो दुनिया भी जीत जाएगा सबसे आगे होगा तू तेरा भी दिन अब आएगा.
And we also would like Prabhu Shilbai to give the medals as well to each and every one.
दिल में है बस जीत का जज्बा, दिल में है बस जीत का जज्बा, देश का मान बढ़ाना है। रण है रण है रण है ये रण है, जीतेंगे प्रण है। रण है रण है रण है ये रण है, जीतेंगे प्रण है। बनके आंधी और तूफान उतरेंगे जब ये मैदान।
And now the trophy, please. The trophy, please.
जीतेंगे प्रण है। बनके आंधी और तूफान उतरेंगे जब ये मैदान, होगी ऊंची देश की शान, झूमेगा हिंदुस्तान। बनके आंधी और तूफान उतरेंगे जब ये मैदान, होगी ऊंची देश की शान, झूमेगा हिंदुस्तान। T20 वर्ल्ड कप के दर्शन।
We would like Team Permanent to stay on the stage, please. Request to stay on the stage, please. Now we would have the final champions, Team Easy Pass. And for that, I would request Shashwat Bhai Dharaya, Captain, Kundan Bhai Patel, Jai Bhai Baria, Prerak Bhai Dalal, Palash Bhai Aslot, Kashyap Bhai Patel, Malav Bhai Patel, Rushi Bhai Patel, and Deepen Bhai Patel. So, before we present the award, what we would like to do is, we would like to call Pujya Aryu Uncle on the stage, please. And before we go ahead and give the awards, we would like to have both the captains come up, and we would like to have Aryu Uncle present the Champions Trophy to both the captains, because they fought valiantly during the finals, so they deserve to have a photo shoot. Thank you. Anup Bhai and Shashwat Bhai, please come. Now we would like Aryu Uncle to present the medals, please. Can we have both the teams and Aryu Uncle in the center and have picture, please? Applause to both the teams. thank you all for coming tonight. But before we disperse, there is two announcements. We would now go and take the dinner. And if anyone wants to attend the Arti will start at 8:20. So please go ahead and eat, okay? Eat. It's the end of the year now, so eat as much as you can. Jai Sri Narayan.